Hi, this is Ivan Julian, and when I'm in Dayton or anywhere, I try to find Icon Fetch.
Welcome to Icon Fetch. I am Tony Peters. Now, UK's Gene Loves Jezebel formed in the early 80s and had their biggest success in the United States with songs like 1986's Desire. And Jealous, which hit number one on the alternative charts in 1990. Now the band is back with their first new record in 14 years, Dance Underwater, which contains a killer single appropriate for the time, Summertime.
Summertime, 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 oh. Summertime, 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 oh.
From Gene Loves Jezebel, we welcome in Jay Aston. How are you, man?
Oh, very well, thank you, Tony.
Good. Now, so this is pretty amazing stuff because I mentioned that you hadn't put out a record in 14 years, but even really that record, the Thornfield sessions, that was kind of acoustic stuff. So really, we got to go. We got to go even.
That wasn't a new record.
Yeah, we got to go kind of even further back, like to 7 maybe in '99. Is that right? Or
that is correct. Yeah,
wow, long time. So why? So what was the kind of catalyst for finally putting out a new Gene Loves Jezebel record in 2017? How did that all come about?
Okay. Well, we haven't been able to tour too much in the U.S., etc., because of my brother has another version of Gene Loves Jezebel, which doesn't feature any of the guys that played on the songs you just mentioned, actually.
Right.
But that band still exists. It's me, Chris, James, and Pete. And we tend to just get together once or twice a year. We do odd festivals in Europe, occasionally in South America. And we've been doing other stuff. James has been doing stuff with the Cult and, tons of different sessions, The Alarm and all these things. And Chris does stuff with Hugh Cornwell and the Stranglers and all this dance music. And Pete and I work on things called Ugly Bugs, which is another project Pete and I work on. It's very theatrical. We do gigs in Europe, Italy, places like that. But we get together once or twice a year, and every year we get together. The boys always say, "Oh, we must make another album." It's such, we do a couple of encores or wherever we play. And as soon as we go on the flight to go back to wherever we're living, it's all forgotten. And last year in Portugal, they said the same again. "Oh, let's everyone get hammered," and they'll say, "Oh, let's make another album." And I said, "Well, guys, we're going to make an album. Let's do it properly. Let's do a pledge of music. So fans want an album, they'll pay for it. And let's do it properly. Let's use a proper studio. Let's use Peter Walsh, who did Desire, Heavenly Bodies, and Discover, and lots of our records, As Adults, etc. And we'll see what happens." Well, Pete Rizzle, he's a bass player, guitar player, singer as well these days, songwriter. He's wrote a lot of the songs with me on the new album. We got on with it, and we reached the pledge easily, and so I was in LA at the time, but I came back to London and still here now, and spent the winter working on that record, which you was just saying.
We're all having a good time. Yes, we're all having a good time. Boys having a good time. Girls having a good time. World's gone crazy.
Right. Now, I mean, what's great about this is you guys have this, original guys back in the band. You got Chris on drums, you got James on guitar, like I said, you got Pete on bass. This is the lineup that had a bunch of hits in America kind of thing. And I mean, that's kind of rare for these days to be able, you know what I mean? A lot of these bands get back together, and you're lucky to have one original guy, right?
Yeah, it's true. Well, we are lucky, and we're kind of aware of that as well as we get older. We kind of go, "Oh my God," and we've still got all our powers. We're probably better than we ever were, really. And it was like, let's do it while we're all still here, before good stuff happens. We've all lost friends and stuff. Life, as we all know, throws up some weird angles. But we're all still healthy, and we just went to the studio. It was a great record to make. Everyone was really into it. Producer, we used Barry Barlow, who's the drummer for Jeff Hotel, the legendary Barry Barlow, who's an awesome guy. He's his studio. And everybody, every night, was just so into it. Tony Visconti, obviously from T-Rex, David Bowie producer. he wanted to do the string arrangement on one of the songs. So it was all so positive, and it was done very quickly, and really everyone knew what we had to do, and it was just luck was with us, and it came out really well.
Ain't it enough? Ain't it enough? Ain't it enough? You stole my heart and left me on the floor.
Now, with coming back into the studio for the first time in a long time when you're talking about original music, was there like one song that kind of got the whole ball rolling where you're like, oh man, now we got something here. Now we're laying something down we really like. I mean, was there one particular song that really was the catalyst?
It was to be honest, it was from the moment, teaching Chris, and in the moment they've been playing together. This is Immigrant album, which is the first album that came out in the US. It was a long time. As soon as they started laying down the first song, which I think was the first song they did, Summertime.
Oh,
okay. As soon as they started laying down the tracks, James just said, God, this is Gene Loves Jezebel. Because originally we were going to think of changing the name of the band, because we've got so much nonsense occur, with the other version of Gene Loves Jezebel out there, of touring, doing all those 80s festivals and that things that we don't do. But a label wanted to sign us. They loved the album. They said, "Oh, you've got to keep the name. It's Gene Loves Jezebel. It's obviously Gene Loves Jezebel. If you put Desire on and Jealous and put Summertime on, or Is It Me or any of those songs, that's Gene Loves Jezebel."
Right.
So we said okay, but we said we've got these hassles, legal hassles, with every time we try to play America, because we haven't done it for such a long time. And they said, "Don't worry, our lawyers can handle all that." This is not
right.
This is not uncommon these days for these things to happen. As you mentioned earlier, there are bands out there with not one original member succeeding in it. So
right.
We're the real band, which is the irony is that we haven't been able to talk. We're actually the band.
Right.
So people know.
Well, you talked about Summertime. What a fantastic song that is.
Summertime, 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 whoa. And I don't feel bad at all. No, I don't feel bad at all.
I mean, it's a great record. It's like a great introduction to this is the new Gene Loves Jezebel 2017 kind of thing. Is there anything you can tell me about that, and the writing of that song?
Well, that's the weird thing you mentioned earlier about bands feeling good about songs. This project I was doing with Peter Rizzo, which we called Ugly Bugs, it's just a fun thing. That's a song Peter and I wrote together. And we also did How'd You Say Goodbye to Someone You Love. And James Stevenson, obviously the guitar player, came to see us play live. And he was like, "Oh my God, that's just an amazing song." And there was a guy from the BBC, we played it quite a lot now, loved it. And so for us it was just a fun project, Ugly Bugs, where we could just be loose and just have a bit of fun with music and not come to play to a record company. And so, that's actually, when you think about it, I mean, those songs are the ones that got the whole thing rolling, really.
Right. Now, when you're putting together a project like this, did you you haven't done a proper studio album since '99. Were there songs on this record that dated back to that time period kind of thing that maybe you had laying around?
Well, I write a lot, so tons of stuff. And so there's one song, 18 and F, for instance, I wrote a long time ago. And the original version of it is very dark and it's very moody. But James has always talked to me about that song. When I did a solo album, he's like, "Oh, Jay, you got to do that song." I said, "No, it's not right for this acoustic album." And he just remembered it. He said, "Jay, you got to do it." And he'd actually remembered the melodies of the verses, which I'd forgotten because it's such a long time ago I wrote it. Because I write a lot of songs like "Is It Me?" I was going to do another song, but I thought I wanted to keep the album really up, and it's kind of album you put on and you just want to get in the car or go to the beach and just feel up. And these very negative times, I felt, so I wanted to keep the whole thing up. And we just all sat around and went through all my songs out of my iPhone, and when I played Is It Me, they were all like, "Oh, we got to do that one." So they're all really excited by that.
Is it me? 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 You're my to see ya.
So that song's there. But the other ones, no, they're kind of things, that I've been working on, or Pete and I have been working on over the last year or two.
Right, right, yeah. And the album opens with Charmed Life, Never Give In.
So never give in. Never give in. Never give in.
It sounds like could be advice to a young person, perhaps? I don't know.
Well, it directly relates to an old song of our last proper album, which is Heavenly Bodies, I think. We did 7 after, but Heavenly Bodies is one we're really, really proud of. As an album, we all 7's got some great songs in it, but production-wise, we love Heavenly Bodies. And there's a song called Break the Chain, which is very popular in lots of countries.
And I can't break the chain. I gotta break the chain.
And it's a song about struggle, Break the Chain, about addictions of all kinds, anything you can mention. Some people are addicted to pizza, some people on heroin, whatever.
Right.
And it's just my addressing my own challenges at that time. And we were asked to play a gig in Italy, Ugly Bugs. And they said, "Oh, can you do some Gene Loves Jezebel songs?" And we said, "Oh, okay, yeah, we can do that in the Ugly Bugs style." And Pete did a backing track for Break the Chain. And it just didn't sound anything like Break the Chain. But the riff sounded fantastic. I said, Pete, there's a different song in there. So, and the lyric, I wrote the lyrics in the studio as we were doing the song. It just came really quickly. And it seemed to really speak to where we were as a band and where we're in life. We got so much nonsense thrown at us that we're still here and still vibrant. And there's a real energy there. And it is advice to anyone, really. If you just believe in yourself, don't believe in what they're trying to sell you. Just believe in yourself. Don't believe in drugs. Don't believe in whatever they're trying to sell you, Because if you believe in something, you give it power. So that's very much a song about just the obviously never give in.
Right. And I love the way it ends acoustically, too. That's so cool that it just ends, that's kind of a neat touch.
Yeah, well, that relates to, I've been doing a lot of my solo thing as well, which I do with the guitar. That's something we've taken to live sets. We did some gigs in Europe recently with our friends, The Mission, some of them. And I just put that into the new album where I just stand there with guitar and sing some stuff on my own acoustic, which is more kind of open-ended performance-based. It's not. I'll have an idea for a song. I'll just sing whatever comes into my head. And that was the end of that, where it's just loosely just me playing the guitar. So, the album hopefully gives away how we are live,
Right. Nice. Now, you talked about Pledge Music. I mean, that's got to be, since the last time you guys did an album, things have changed drastically from, in the music business, and not all of it's good, but as far as being able to go to your fans, you kind of take a little bit of a leap of faith there, don't you? I mean, you put that up there, and you kind of then keep your fingers crossed that your fans are going to support you, right?
Well, yeah, that is. Things have changed. Well, we used to make records that would cost $500,000, So
right.
Yeah, they have changed. There's no machine behind us now, but that machine got us to where we were in the first place, I guess. And we're fortunate that there is an audience out there. But yeah, my attitude. James and I especially are very active on social media, so we like the interaction with fans. It's great fun, and I love posting music up there all the time. Any ideas I have, I'll put on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, so people can listen. So my attitude was, as I said earlier, if they wanted to do it, then we'll do it, but it has to be done properly, so we don't need this much money. And if we don't reach that target, then we won't do it, and then we'll just carry on, do something else the rest of our lives.
Right.
Just get together once in a while, as we've been doing, to play odd gigs, which is fun. But doing a new album, and the energy of it was great, and we had fans sometimes came to the studio to where we were the mixes. It was just great. And then back in where we used to make records, you wouldn't know how people felt about it until the actual album came out. But it was great to put rough mixes up there and all this kind of stuff and teasers, and it was great. We loved doing it. It was good.
Now what's interesting, you have worked up, you've teamed up again with producer Peter Walsh. Now, this guy worked on a lot of your great records from the past. Was that kind of a no-brainer to bring him in on the project? As he was like the only choice?
Well, we love working with him, but we've made our favourite records. And number two is it's like the risk factor kind of goes, because a lot of people in our position have made pledge music albums, and as you probably know, they haven't really worked out very well, and maybe just past their best, or they haven't got any new songs, or they try to do it cheaply to make money. For us, it was never about making money. We just wanted to make a great record and something to be proud of. We figured, well, we're halving the risk by using a producer that we know is great. I mean, James has worked with him on loads of things since we did those albums. James has consistently worked with people, watching Scott Walker and tons of great records. And so it was like Pete wanted to do it, and we would make it happen. And so it was the risk factor of making a good record was, certainly cut in half by using someone of his caliber to produce it. Right.
Nice. Now, if I asked you about a couple of the other tracks on the record, like the hardest rockin' song on the record, "World Gone Crazy," that's got some great guitar from James.
Come and get your love. Come and get your love.
Yeah, James shines on the album. He does, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Now, certainly we live in some crazy times. Was that one that you wrote after some kind of specific event, or just sort of a generalization of the world gone crazy kind of thing?
It's a comment on everything. Obviously, politics aside, I'm deeply affected by Brexit. I was very upset by it, and obviously I'm not too fond of, many of us are not that fond of the current American administration. Many of us are not very fond of the British government.
Right.
So, yeah,
right.
A lot of that's in there.
Right.
And it's originally, a lot of the songs you wouldn't guess it, but that's written actually a lot about alcohol abuse when I was working in York with Pete, and I'd see people come there every weekend binge drinking, just getting hammered, and it's a lot to do with the insanity of that, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's all connected, really.
Sure. One of the kind of darker songs, "How Do You Say Goodbye to Someone You Love?"
How do you say goodbye to someone you love?
Is that written for a specific person kind of thing?
Well, it's, as I said, earlier, Pete used to just play bass with the band, But when we started working on Ugly Bugs, we were on music together, he's a brilliant musician all around. But I taught him how to sing, and he would ask me to sing some lyrics, because some tough things happened to Pete. He lost, I don't want to go too much into it, but he lost a brother and his mum, and some bad stuff happened. And he had written all this stuff, and so I worked on some of the lyrics. I had to modify them somewhat because they were just very dark. And I had that song kind of knocking around. Certainly a lot of the lyrics. Then Pete came up with that music, and I said, "Oh, I thought this fits perfectly with How Do You Say Goodbye to Someone You Love?" And it's an odd song because the reaction to it's been quite amazing. There was a BBC plugger said to us, "Oh my God, it's going to be played at every funeral." I'd never even thought of that.
Yeah.
And the people love it. Yeah, and we played a gig in Holland before the album came out, and we've been doing it as the last song in the set, which is pretty unusual to do a ballad on a song no one's ever heard as the last song. But a couple came up to me in Holland, not fans of us, and just said, "Oh, I don't really know your band. What was that last song you played?" It's just like sometimes things in life really move you to tears. And I said, I told him it was the title, and he said, my wife and I, we were crying when we listened to that because we lost our son 2.5 years ago. So stuff like that, you don't know what to react to. You go, "Oh, wow," So,
right.
Yeah, it's, and I did it, I was doing it acoustically on my own to develop it. And when Bowie died, people assumed I'd written about Bowie, and I didn't say I didn't, but people just related straight away that I'm singing about a loss, which is a song about loss, but the lyric is, like a lot of my songs, if you look into the lyric, it's probably dark.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, that's ultimately what you want is when you write something, you want something that is kind of universal, and that's certainly, I think everybody can relate to that in some way or another, right? Yeah. So
I certainly think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sometimes these things come to you, who knows from where from. But.
Yeah. All right. So I got to ask you about the last song on the record. I'd read in another interview that you were a Dylan fan, and I kind of hear sort of Dylan chords on "Dance Underwater."
Yeah. Well, actually, that's the very common chord sequence. That's Pete. Pete wrote the music to that, so I can blame him for that.
That's all right.
I'm a huge Dylan fan. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, there is definitely. I mean, I would say "Goodbye to Summer Love" would be a Dylan influence.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
But it's not using the same chords, which is
right.
You can't copyright Gene.
Right. No. Right. No, it's a very right. Exactly.
Those chords,
Right.
But ultimately, you could be rocking in the free world millions of songs.
Sure. No, you're right. You're right. That chord progression is a lot of different things. I think Tom Petty stole that about 14 times. So, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, look, those chords work great together. But that's one of Pete's. I encouraged him to write and wrote that song, and it's very much a song. I mean, I've written half the lyrics to it, and but it's Pete's chorus, and James has added the parts with musically to it. But it's just what can I tell you?
Right.
It's a lovely song. Yeah.
Now, you talk about things that have changed a lot over the years, but here it is. I understand that Dance Underwater is also coming out on vinyl. I mean, how strange is that, right? It's like
that's great. Yeah, I remember we were I think we were, I'm guessing in the US, we were the last vinyl record in the 80s at that time, that they released, which was Kiss of Life.
Wow.
And then obviously a few years later, Sonic Youth and people started coming out with vinyl again for a small community. But now it's actually overtaking CDs in the UK, vinyl, weirdly enough.
Yeah, crazy.
That goes to show how much CD sales have gone down more than anything.
Right, I know. you sell your CD for $5 and you sell the album for $30. Right? It's like
exactly. I understand. Of course, albums are great. We attach the feel of them and everything is wonderful. But I have to confess to being I like the space I get. So, with just streaming stuff, I'm always on the move.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah, and it's
ideally if I had a nice pad and a lovely old radiogram or a great new stereo system, I would. Of course, it'd be a nice indulgence to get all your favorite albums in vinyl. So I know people swear. My James Stevenson will swear to the vinyl's there, and he's always been collecting it. He's always had vinyl. So.
Yeah, but I mean, the streaming makes it so portable, though. I mean, it's like you're having your whole album collection and then some by a lot, So that.
And I find I discover a lot of stuff with streaming, weirdly enough. It'll be like just related artists, and you go, oh, I didn't know that bass player was in that band, and then it takes you somewhere else. And so a lot of technology I love, the fact that it can lead you to so many places. Gone are the days when you could, people like Led Zeppelin could just plagiarize the world and get away with it because no one would ever hear the band.
No way. Yeah.
No one ever stole. Who's that? They wouldn't have ever heard of it. These days, you know straight away.
No, that's very true. Yeah, there's no way.
Where do you get that chord structure from?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, and some people have obviously, complained about, platforms like Spotify, how, people aren't making a whole lot of money from that, but it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. It's not going away.
No.
So
yeah, that's something that has to be resolved a bit better in the artist phase, I think. But I mean, like you can talk about YouTube as well. They don't control that at all, and they make the artists responsible for chasing things up, and
right.
It's just all messed up, really.
Yeah.
On the good side of it, it's great for us consumers to look at and wonder about this. What is all free before the government get hold of it?
Get a hold of it again. Yeah.
We're in a golden age of it right now. The Wild West is still this time of year.
Right. Exactly. So, are you guys actually playing any dates in the United States for the new record?
We hope to. When it comes out, in September next month, stateside. So hopefully this will generate. I mean, the response to the record's been amazing. So, we'll just see. We would love to. It's been such a long time since we toured the U.S.
Right, and
amazing.
You talked about your brother has a competing version of Gene Loves Jezebel. So, like, when you come over here, you have to change the name or something. I mean, what is all that about? I don't know.
I know it's crazy. I can't say anything positive about it really. It's been nightmarish for us. Obviously we get people. If people use Gene Loves Jezebel music, you're going to use Desire and Motion and Jealous and all these songs. They're going to use my image and my voice to promote these things, and it's just a nightmare every gig. I get every time that band plays, I get messages from people. Oh, you're playing in Las Vegas, and I'll be saying no. The day you've seen on an 80s bill, we don't do that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do a little bit of research, I guess, as a fan, because, the other Gene Loves Jezebel has put out records, not recently, but at least, over the last 15 years or so. So, yeah, it can be a little bit confusing, I guess. But the beautiful thing, like you said, about the computer is all you have to do is do a little bit of research and realize that, you guys have 80% of the original band in that band, and they have 20%, right?
Yeah, well, 100%. If you all listen to songs like Desire, he's not on those records. He's on the videos. Or
right.
Suspicion. He's miming to my voice or whatever, but he's not actually on the record.
Right.
So it's a bit like Wham, I suppose.
Right.
Don't see that.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
but yeah, back to the positive stuff. This is a fantastic new record, and we hope that you can get over here to the States and promote it because, it's just great to have the original band back. And to have it at such a high level, it's great stuff that I think stands up to anything you guys have recorded. So I think that's fantastic. So you talked about social media. So what's the best way for people that want to find out what you guys are doing? And you said you post stuff on Facebook. You can just do a search for.
You should do. What Gene Loves Jezebel with Jay Aston on the Facebook side of it.
Okay.
But on the web, look for .co.uk, because we're all British and live over here.
Right.
So it's genelovesjezebel.co.uk, and you can find me, JP Aston, on Facebook, and JP Aston Music, and all those things. We're, on Twitter, J_Aston, James Stevens, James on guitars, Gene Loves Jezebel, LUVS. Our Twitter handle up there.
Nice.
Just so people can find it. Good. We try to get it out there.
Good. Fantastic. No, that's good. It'll be great for people to get connected too. So, all right, Jay, it's been great in talking to you. The great new CD from Gene Loves Jezebel is called Dance Underwater, and we wish you good luck on it.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Good luck out there.
You've been listening to Icon Fetch with Tony Peters. Want more great interviews? Head over to iconfetch.com. There, you'll find every interview we've ever done, plus CD reviews, This Day in Music, and a random album of the day. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Who is Tony going to interview next? It could be you. Send what you've got to Tony Peters. Icon Fetch, P.O. Box 292134, Dayton, Ohio 45429. Or email Tony at host@iconfetch.com. Until next time, this is Joe Kelly. Have a great day.